studio. Right, but when you went in the studio,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. Same way every time. So anyway, hello and welcome to episode number 2. I am Bruce. This is Star Rookies, and we are going to do a short episode. Our scheduled guest, Jordan, had to cancel due to some work issues, and we didn't want to go a week without putting out some content. So we're going to give a short um, chat about what we've been through to get to this point and what it's taken us to get to this point. Some of the things we purchased, are they necessary, not necessary? And then what we're going to do next. So, rookies.
Yes, sir. Don't look at me because I can't figure out. No, the Brady Bunch shit. I can't. Who? Where are you? I don't know. So on my screen, you're over here, and that's the way I look sometimes. But to them, I'm looking here.
It looked like I was looking at you, didn't it?
He did. Yeah. He
blurred off into nothing land over here. So when we started this, like, you had an older laptop or something. Is that
yeah.
What you had? A tablet, and then I have my iPad. It's an iPad Pro, so I think it's pretty good. It's powerful. Apple product, obviously. And then you had something that you decided you needed. You needed a computer anyway. You were talking about it for a while to get another one and a new one or what have you. And so you went out and purchased one, but you had it made specifically for this podcasting.
For strength, yes. Yeah. I wanted the memory. I wanted the RAM processing power. I wanted the inputs. Yes.
So with me, I did tons of research, and we talked about this for at least 3 weeks before any one of us spent even a dollar on anything, because I am not as technically savvy, or whatever you want to call it. So I wanted to make sure that I was making the right decisions, and I wasn't just going to, frivolously waste my money. And also with my ADD and how it goes crazy at times, I can take one minuscule thing and I can make it into a giant boulder before I can get it back down into a pebble in my own head. So it takes me longer to do anything. So to come up with what I was wanting to purchase or thought I needed, like, I went all over the place. And so I'll just kind of quickly go through some of the things that I went through to try to get this set up. And then I look at some of these things, and I'm actually kind of pissed at myself, because I know you said some things and Deidre said some things to me about, is this necessary? Do you need this? Are you sure? But like, I watched literally 100 videos. I read hundreds of articles. I looked at so many different things. So the first thing I did was, I'm like, I need like microphone, the soundboard, those type of things, because of everything that I watched, and that's what everybody talked about. You need something to control the sound. You need something to control the echo, and you need this little thing to keep the puffing noises and that type of thing. And so all the research and stuff I did, I came up with, it's like, this soundboard is what a lot of people use. Not this one exactly, but in this manner. And after driving myself crazy about what I was going to get, I finally just decided one day I'm just going to go on, find one that has the specs that I need, and that's what I'm going to get. So being somewhat money conscious about it, I didn't want to just go out and spend $500, $600, $700, but it was like $180 some to get to the house. So that's what it was for taxes, delivery, whatever. And then I paid for a month on Podbean. And then I realized that although
Podbean's audio.
Right, they do video, but you have to be really technical to understand how to get it there. It's not easy. So after I paid for it, And what did I pay for it? And I'll be honest about it, because I'm doing this for a bunch of different reasons. But part of the reason is I want to be able to monetize it at some point, whenever it's worthy of that. And that was a big piece of my decision, because it was like, Podbean is the best hosting platform in all the world for monetizing your podcast. And I got sucked into that. Then I realized, oh, they don't do video. So, and then I find out after reading along, well, Podbean is for people that are professionals, mainly, that are very technical and understand the insides and outs of it. So I'm like, well, I didn't see any of that when I was trying to make my decisions. So I paid $180 for my soundboard and my microphones and stuff, which soundboards that hasn't been plugged in 3 weeks because I can't get it to work. I paid the $29 for Podbean, didn't use it. And then I had to buy 2 of these bad boys to get my microphone to work.
We call them dongles. Not sure what they are.
Yeah. And then my StreamYard that I paid for, which was, I think it was $24 or $19. I don't even know what it was. So to get to this, I have spent about $300. And in reality, I could have spent $0 except for the StreamYard. Because
the StreamYard, yeah.
All the things that I purchased, this is to me the best and the most useful piece of all of them. Because we could have done this on YouTube. We could have done this on X. But I think X you have to pay for. So you have to pay for some of those. And to get what you need out of YouTube, I still think you should probably pay for the features and things if you really want them. So I'm like, and I really like this. It's easy to use. It's easy to get invite. Like I invited you here. It was super easy. You came right on. It was super easy. I don't totally understand it all yet, but it's so much easier to use than
if anybody can tell us in the comments, let us know what the difference is between he lives in Florida, I live in Kentucky. My StreamYard options are different than his. The settings, presentation, what I can bring up and offer and show on the screen. He doesn't seem to have those, and I'm not able to look at his screen to look and see if it's maybe there. So is there a difference between Macintosh and Windows operating systems where StreamYard isn't as compatible or is more compatible with one than the other? If anybody can leave us comments or even links to videos or something explaining that, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, because it has been challenging for me to just do the basic stuff with it, because I want it to be good. I don't want to just do this every week just so I can say, well, I'm making content. I want it to be like I'm asking people to spend their time to watch it. And I know how valuable my time is. So I know that other people's time is valuable. So whenever I'm asking someone to spend their time to watch this, I want it to be time well spent on their side. I want them to go, I liked it. It was enjoyable. I don't mind. I'm glad I did it. I want it to be worth it. So I want it to be a good product, and I want it to get better every time. But I need to understand how to make it better. And if I don't know if it's my product here, my iPad, because I love Apple products, but I'm also very unhappy with how nothing is compatible. Even their own product, Apple product, is not compatible with their own items. You have to pay multiple things to get one thing to work. So it's sort of frustrating. So from where I'm at on my side, you have a phone and a tablet or a laptop or a desktop computer or whatever that works, that has a decent camera and a decent microphone and a decent internet service.
And most modern day iPhones or any other phones, they have really good. The smartphones have really good cameras, really good microphones. You really can record these things on your own right there and utilize something like StreamYard. Very simplified process.
Yeah, and you don't. So just from my side of things, I could have done all of this that we're doing right now with just signing up for StreamYard.
Yep.
And they have
Yep.
a free package, so I could have done StreamYard without even paying for it. But I wanted to have the extra features, the storage, because I wasn't sure how much of he's going to be doing this, and I didn't want to get carried away and then have to change it in the middle of something. So I just paid for it. But I think you have some pretty good options for the free side. And if you're going to do this once or twice a month, then you don't even really have to pay for it, I don't think. So that's
No,
from my. So now you.
I agree. You tried a couple of different things there, and the Podbean, and you started talking about 3 or 4 other kinds and 3 other platforms. And I found StreamYard. I watched a lot of videos myself, and I really like. The only thing I don't like about it is it's completely web based, so I don't have the app that I can. I'm not comfortable with the settings yet of within a browser, but I'm getting there. I'm learning. It does change things, and that's where finding how to use your microphone, your speakers, your camera, not using the iPad camera, but using your external camera. And if you use pods, I want to use my microphone, but just use these to hear you talking when we have a conversation. But we've learned a lot in this little bit of time. We just got a long way to go. I learned how to hang a green screen. Now I got to figure out how to use it.
Yeah, and there's things like we've done, and I would readily admit that my patience of basically anything in my life is non-existent. I'm not a patient person by any means, and I try to be. I'm not, and I get frustrated and quite frankly, I get pissed off. So he does things and figures things out and tells me, what was this? Like, for example, I could not figure out how to, because I forgot this. I paid for a website because it was like, oh, you have to have a website you got to have somewhere for people to go. So I also paid for a website.
happyhourwithbruce.com.
Yes. So I tried for 2 weeks because you take this video from StreamYard, you upload it to YouTube, and then you can link the YouTube to your website. And it says it's easy enough. So you go,
you're going to tell this story?
You go on Google and you read all these things, and it says it's easy. Do this in Nerd Talk. Do this in Nerd Talk. All these videos, just follow these steps. That's what you say to somebody that is a nerd or understands that kind of talk. For people like me, like, there's no one saying, take this link that's right here, this right here. If you click on this, and then you can make this little icon, you can come over here and put it. They don't tell you that. So I tried for 2 weeks. I couldn't figure it out. I kept getting invalid errors and all this stuff. So I was pissed. I was done with it.
He's pretty frustrated, pretty fed up.
And I told him, I gave him my password to my stuff so he could sign in and do it. And like in 15 minutes, he sends me a text that it's up and running. I was even madder about that.
For those that know a little bit, and I know just enough to be dangerous, he had a YouTube icon on his webpage already set up. It's a little tiny one, so he needs to make a bigger one, but it was a little tiny icon, and it would go to website not found when you'd link on it, and he couldn't get it to connect. And all he had to do was go up and put a widget in to show what you wanted that icon to do. And I just went in there, did that, programmed in his URL, put it on his website, and said, that's it, it's done. It wasn't that difficult a thing, but you can't blame him for not understanding how to do it because nobody's ever done that before. But those are the simplified things that if you've got no basis for learning it, how could you know how to do it? But it kind of disappointing it took you 3 days.
They don't explain it like that. If you go watch videos, everybody's talking in technical terms. Everybody's saying things in tech language when the majority of us are trying to learn how to do these things. So if you're talking to us, it's almost like me explaining to you how to bake a cake, but I'm speaking to you in German and you don't know German. And then I'm not understand why you don't understand the instructions. So it's like, speak the language that we understand, because I know you're way more savvy than I am, and you know way more about these things. But when you tell me about them, you explain them to me so I understand them. But it just takes me forever because of our schedules and stuff to get that down. So I'm like, I'll just watch videos. I'm up all night anyway. I'll just see what's going on. And I can't, like, nobody talks in that way. So that's how I got frustrated. But I forgot about the webpage. So that's another, I paid for the year, it was like $220. So that's, now I'm at like over 500. Not necessary. I think the website, when it gets to the point of doing what it should be doing, I think it'll be a pretty good addition. But I don't even think it's necessary then. But so that's what I've gone through. That's what I've spent. That's some of the issues that I've encountered. But then we get to today. Like, I feel 100%, other than the frustration with some of the equipment, I feel 100% confident of signing into here, setting it up, inviting somebody in, and doing a podcast. I 100%. Where even 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had like cold sweats from thinking about doing it because I was so nervous of screwing it up or not understanding it or doing it the wrong way. And just by doing those few steps and keep inching towards it, it made it so much easier. And it's getting better every time. So you said in the first one, just do it. And that's what we did. And then it's just getting closer and closer. So that's how we got from the first thought of, hey, I'm going to do a podcast, to we've actually done them now. We're doing another one now. And to me, it's kind of remarkable because 2 months ago, I watched a lot of them. Never even thought about, oh, I'll do one of those myself. I didn't think that was, I never even crossed my mind. But when it did cross my mind, like, that's all I've thought about since. That's what I cannot understand or express how much I like doing it. Like, this is, I don't know what it is about it. It's like exciting and it's fulfilling. And I've never been this kind of a person, but I feel like it's creative. I'm being like, I've never had that in my life. I've never been that person. I've always been a regimented.
But you've never been shy or sheltered or hidden from public view.
Right.
You're fine putting yourself out there,
but not in this manner, like this.
Understood. You don't draw attention to yourself. You're happy to be there, but you don't. This is different. I agree.
For me, it's especially hard, and you've helped me a lot. I wouldn't have got to this stage without your help. But I was saying is like, we haven't even done very much, and I guess if you looked at it on paper, but to me, like, we've made giant leaps to where we're at right now. Because I think, wow, I watched Joe Rogan's first episode, just a few days ago. It was kind of crap too.
I'll have to go look at that. I'll look it up.
He put these little snowflakes falling down the screen because he thought it was cool. I'm just like, wow, that wasn't a very good one either. But I watch him now, and I can lose 2 hours of my day by just watching him and not even realizing how much I'm sucked into it. But like, that's kind of what I want to get to, that point where we're it's that good, or tracking to be that kind of good. So that is how we got to today, and we have things lined up. So on the list here is what is next.
We got some interviews lined up, don't you?
Yeah, rescheduling Jordan, and we even tried to fit him in this morning just to see if he could do it, but he has young children and he just couldn't get away because he really was not happy about missing out on today. So
I'm looking forward to sitting in on that. That will be.
It's a great guy and very unassuming as far as like just such a good dude, and he is very smart. He runs a monster business. I mean, monster. I worked there for a year and a half, and the year I was there, I think we did $12 million in sales, and that's a lot, and it's a machine. And we were going to discuss this about where he came from and how he got to that point, and what it takes to run that business daily, from like staffing and also from a mentality side, because like that's a tough gig. Running the Roadhouse was similar, not the same number of sales, but what we did every day to like where I'm at now. I have a staff of 20 in both locations combined. And he has that in his kitchen for his lunch shift, so can't wait to talk with him about that. And then Andrew Ng is his name. He's also an old friend of mine. He is the director of operations for Phelan Family Brands in Fort Myers. They, I think, have 26 locations. They were Pincher's Crab Shack, and then they branched off into multiple other different brands. They have a Deep Lagoon, which is a higher end, high dollar type seafood place. And then when the hurricane hit there 2 summers ago, it wiped out 4 of their locations. And Andrew had been in his job as director of operations for 1 week and lost 4 or half of their.
That'll be good. That'll be a good story.
Yeah. So he was, because I saw, another friend of ours told me he got promoted, and so I texted him. I was like, "Hey, congratulations!" He's like, "Yeah, my first week, my number one achievement was I got rid of half of our business."
Yeah.
But some of those are never coming back because they're gone. On Fort Myers Beach location where I worked, it's sand now. It got demolished.
Okay, that's for that episode. What else you got?
I'm just saying but they've really done some great since he took over. They've really, like, now they went from like 8 down to 4 to up to like 20 some. So great episode. And then a friend of ours, mutual friend Bill, been a friend for many, many years, is coming up also in a few weeks. So
Hicks wants to do some drinking with us.
Hicks is, I've never met him. Rookies has a few times, but met each other on Xbox and have been good friends.
15 years.
Yeah. And he's also a fan of Crown Royal. So we're going to do a review of, you said it was like, you couldn't remember what brand it was. I think it is Black Cherry.
Is it black cherry or blackberry?
Maybe blackberry, but you said something like blackberry, and I happened to, somebody said something to me, so I looked it up, and it's like black. So it's maybe blackberry. It is.
I think it's blackberry.
I was talking about blackberry cobbler.
Okay.
So I think it is blackberry.
That's supposed to be coming out in the spring or summer.
Yeah, I could do that, but I think Hicks is a fan of the apple, which is probably what we're going to do next. We could.
I've never tried it.
Me either. So that's coming up. So there's some other things in the pipe. We're going to do some reviews on some other things, but the interviews are coming up soon, and I'll put out the dates of those. Again, it's those 2 guys are on the other coast, so it's like 3 hours away. And then I have another friend of mine that started his own food truck. It's called Taters. So if you see it on Facebook, please like and support them. They're great guys. So we're going to do a bunch of things coming up. And it's super exciting because these are some of my friends, and they know about you because I've talked about you for years, but it'll be easy for you to see why they're my friends. Great guys, hard workers, and they're all really good family guys and just really good people. And I think that, this will help show that not all people are assholes out there, that there's some good people out there. So we all work in this business or have worked in this business, and it doesn't make all of us crazy. So got some good, cool stuff coming up. And then, of course, baseball season is not far away. We'll be talking about the Reds and the Marlins, and then we just got a bunch of stuff. And then before that, football season will be back around. Bruce.
And just for my own little thing, I'm gonna do a weekly recap of major news on my channel on YouTube, starting in a few weeks. I've got a surgery coming up here the end of the month, and get through that. But you guys wanna jump over and check out Star Rookies in a few weeks. I'm gonna give you my opinion on what the news is.
And you probably see me on his channel as well. We don't agree with everything, even though we've been best friends for 30 plus years. We don't see the same side to everything, but there are certain things that we are basically identical on. So I will be happy to make visits to his shows and episode and put my 2 cents in as well. And just like here, just don't be disrespectful, and everybody's welcome. So his is coming up in a few weeks, and then this is just basically where we just have a few minutes of chatter. I had planned on Jordan being here, and possibly another friend of mine who was going to maybe surprise us, but since Jordan didn't show, he's not coming either. But this is
This is a lot of trial and error. We're trying to figure this out. We're hoping that there's some people that are going to be sticking around now at the 26-minute mark. That's a lot of time out of your day. Any likes would be appreciated. Any comments, we'll be sure to answer. But this is fun, interesting, and we're learning and figuring out how to do this properly.
And if we said the 26 mark, we have both of us have been looking like how long, what should it be like.
What's too long? What's not long
so
enough?
Let us know. Like, we don't want to bore you, and we don't want to overextend our welcome, and we want to make sure that you have a reason to come back the next time. So, if, like he said, if you want it to be or think it should be shorter, or if you think that we're not adding enough content of certain items, let us know. Like, if it's too long, if it's not long enough, we are totally open for that because we're both figuring this out as we go. We're just learning as we go. So we're totally open for suggestions. But I did read the national average for a podcast is 32 minutes. So we're not far off of that. But
and just for the record, if y'all haven't figured it out yet, both of us have the same initials, BS. So we should be able to get through this one way or another.
Most of the time it is BS. But thanks for joining me, rookies. I appreciate your time.
And for you guys out there that know Bruce, like Bruce, friends with Bruce, I'm going to do an interview of Bruce. I'm going to flip this around on him, and I'm going to make him the guest. You good with that?
Yeah, I'm good.
Duck?
Bring it on.
We'll get that arranged too sometime next month.
But thanks for joining me, Mr. Rookies. I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
Everybody, have a great day. And from Happy Hour with Bruce, salute.